Hey there, gaming enthusiasts! Today, we're diving into the realm of single-player PC games. Whether you're seeking captivating narratives, immersive worlds, or thrilling gameplay, these games are sure to deliver an unforgettable experience. Join us as we explore the top picks that every solo gamer should have on their radar. Let's jump into the world of the best single-player PC games. Set in 1984 during the Cold War, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain follows the story of Venom Snake, also known as Big Boss, as he seeks revenge on the private military company that betrayed him. The game features an open-world environment that allows players to explore the game world freely, completing missions and objectives in a non-linear fashion. One of the key features of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, is its innovative gameplay mechanics. The game features a dynamic day-night cycle and realistic weather effects that affect gameplay, as well as a robust stealth system that allows players to approach missions in a variety of ways. The game also features base-building elements, allowing players to recruit soldiers and expand their base of operations. Finally, Naughty Dog is on PC, and this collection delivers 2 games for the price of 1. Legacy of Thieves contains Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and a spin-off called The Lost Legacy. On their own, these are both fantastic action-adventure titles that have great stories, endearing characters, and above-average gameplay. Together, they provide quality and quantity. A Thief's End brings Nathan Drake's journey to an end in arguably his strongest outing yet, one that blends action, shooting galleries, platforming, and puzzles to create a robust and varied campaign. Although considerably shorter, The Lost Legacy should not be skipped since it is arguably the best gameplay in the series, along with 2 awesome protagonists in Chloe and Nadine. Red Dead Redemption 2 tells the story of Arthur Morgan, a member of the notorious Van der Linde gang, hanging on at the tail end of the Wild West era. As you embody Arthur, you get to know him and the people around him. Eventually, you'll be immersed to the point that you feel real affection for each character. No list of the best single-player games could be complete without it. Red Dead Redemption 2 will keep you busy. Between story missions, mini-games, activities, and side quests, you will find yourself sinking plenty of hours into this title without even noticing it. From stagecoach robberies to bank heists, there's plenty to keep you occupied as you experience the final days of the frontier. Capcom's initial announcement of Resident Evil 2 Remake was naturally met with some skepticism at first, but we couldn't have been more off base. The studio's loving recreation of its 90s survival horror classic is the perfect example of how to modernize an old game while staying true to its roots. Leon's harrowing gauntlet through the Raccoon City Police Department is one of the scariest, toughest campaigns we've ever had the joy of running through, completely accessible to series newcomers yet still littered with Easter eggs to delight the Resi faithful. This is how horror is done, and proves just how much life there is in Capcom's seminal franchise yet. Resident Evil Village arrived with much fanfare on May 7, 2021, and while excellent in some parts, didn't quite hit the same heights as the second main series entry's reimagining. Baldur's Gate 3 stands as one of the best single-player games around, offering a sprawling campaign full of exploration, moral dilemmas, and challenging turn-based combat. Set in the well-established fantasy world of Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate 3 allows you to blaze your own trail through its fleshed-out setting, offering a degree of player agency seldom seen in gaming. Larian Studios' latest RPG can be challenging, but the payoff is well worth the effort. You'll meet a memorable cast of characters, brought to life by stellar voice acting and motion capture. You'll delve into forbidden dungeons and journey across a gorgeous fantasy world as you find yourself embroiled in a plot that could bring the Forgotten Realms to its knees. If you can get your head around a brand new style of combat that does away with most conventions seen in other games, the rest of The Witcher 3 could be considered perfect. You are Geralt of Rivia, a Witcher also known as a monster slayer to you and I. There's so much to do and see in The Witcher 3. It may seem overwhelming at first, but after you complete your first few monster contracts and begin Geralt's journey to find the ones he loves, you will not put the game down until you've reached the end and slain thousands of enemies. Set in a reimagined late 1500s Sengoku period Japan, SEKIRO, Shadows Die Twice follows the story of Wolf, a shinobi who embarks on a mission to rescue his kidnapped lord and seek revenge on his enemies. The game features a blend of stealth, exploration, and intense swordplay, with a focus on strategic combat and precision timing. One of the key features of SEKIRO, Shadows Die Twice, is its challenging difficulty level. The game is known for its punishing combat and demanding gameplay, requiring players to master its mechanics and learn from their mistakes in order to progress. The game also features a unique resurrection mechanic, allowing players to revive themselves in the midst of battle. Set in ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta, Assassin's Creed Odyssey follows the story of either Alexios or Cassandra, a mercenary who becomes embroiled in a larger conflict involving the mysterious cult of Cosmos. The game features a large open world that players can explore, as well as a variety of quests and activities to engage in. One of the key features of Assassin's Creed Odyssey is its emphasis on player choice and branching narratives. Players can make decisions that affect the outcome of the story and the world around them, leading to multiple possible endings. The game also features a revamped combat system, with a greater focus on melee combat and the use of special abilities. From Software's action RPG takes you to a sprawling open-world setting of the lands between us the Tarnished. With dungeons to explore, great big foes to conquer, and all manner of challenges to overcome, Elden Ring delivers a rich, engrossing experience that will hold your attention. While you can expect to be in for several tough fights, there's nothing quite like the feeling of emerging victorious when you take down a particularly strong enemy. And with character customization and an impressive fantasy landscape to discover, Elden Ring quickly became one of the biggest games of 2022 and is counted among the best From Software games around. It even managed to ship over 16 million copies since launch as of August 2022. The Last of Us Part 1 is an action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was released in 2013 for the PlayStation 3, and later remastered for the PlayStation 4. Set in a post-apocalyptic world devastated by a fungal infection that turns humans into zombie-like creatures, The Last of Us follows the story of Joel, a smuggler, and Ellie, a young girl who may hold the key to a cure. The game features a mix of stealth, exploration, and combat as Joel and Ellie journey across the United States, facing various challenges and threats along the way. One of the key features of The Last of Us Part 1 is its strong narrative and character development. The game has been praised for its compelling story, well-written characters, and emotional depth. It has also been praised for its immersive gameplay, which blends third-person shooting with elements of survival horror. There's no doubt about it, superhero games have been on the rise recently, with more and more titles being released. There are better and worse examples, but surely among the best are Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man, Miles Morales. They'll provide you with some top-notch action in the middle of New York City. From a gameplay perspective, they are very similar. However, the protagonists of each game have slightly different abilities, which makes both installments so much fun to play. Fans of twisted, supernatural shows will find Control a perfect fit. You play as Jesse Faden, the new director of the Federal Bureau of Control, as you uncover its secrets and face otherworldly threats. Its atmospheric setting, intriguing narrative, and unique gameplay make Control one of the most engrossing single-player PC games. Horizon Zero Dawn certainly provides quite an interesting vision of the future. You become Aloy, a hunter, trying to solve the mystery of animalistic machines roaming around. This makes for a really harsh environment, but nothing that the protagonist can't survive. As for the genre, it's a TPP adventure game with some elements of RPG thrown into the mixture. It's a blend that certainly works well. 2023's opening quarter produced 2 remakes of all-time great survival horror games. While neither release makes their predecessor obsolete, they are high-quality modern renditions that present enough new ideas to offer more than just a fresh coat of paint. Capcom knows a thing or two about remakes, and while 2019's Resident Evil 2 is still arguably the standard-bearer, 2023's Resident Evil 4 comes very close to claiming that crown. 2005's Resident Evil 4 reshaped the third-person shooter genre, casting a shadow that continues to linger to this day. The remake could never hope to be as groundbreaking as Capcom's GameCube classic. Consequently, the game opts to provide a more consistent experience. Players who never played the original will find a lot to enjoy in the new version, while veterans who have repeatedly accompanied Leon on his European adventure will find a journey that holds a few surprises. Rockstar hit the jackpot with Grand Theft Auto Online, crafting a multiplayer package that continues to be a huge success nearly a decade following its introduction. While the single-player campaign has been overshadowed by the online version, Grand Theft Auto 5 nevertheless offers one of the best offline PC gaming experiences on the market. With 3 playable characters, a detailed open-world set, primarily in Los Santos, and a ton of side content outside a long main story, GTA 5 feels complete and satisfying. Time has done little to dull this game's impact. The God of War franchise has always been great, but God of War has taken things to the next level. It's gone from linear storytelling to a semi-open world, where players control Kratos and explore worlds taken straight from Norse mythology. It's brutal, badass, and bafflingly beautiful, which is why we called it one of PlayStation's finest moments. Plus, once you've made your way through the adventure, you can follow it up with the excellent sequel, God of War Ragnarok. Cyberpunk 2077 is a far cry from the buggy mess it was at launch. Thanks to a wealth of updates and patches, the game is now in excellent condition, offering an immersive sci-fi experience where you can tailor your character to fit your playstyle. Patch 2.0 completely overhauled character customization, allowing you to play anything from a bullet-deflecting cyborg ninja to a powerful hacker who can explode enemies with their mind. The game has an engrossing story to tell, too, which grapples with dark themes centered around personal autonomy and the dangers of capitalist excess. The game's expansion, Phantom Liberty, also adds a spy thriller to the mix, as well as the gravitas of renowned actor Idris Elba, who plays a key character in the expansion storyline. Rocksteady's Batman trilogy still arguably represents the peak of superhero games, and an argument could be made that this accolade should be extended to the action genre in general. All 3 titles are highly regarded in their own right, but if forced to highlight the pick of the bunch, Batman: Arkham City has to get the nod. Unlike its predecessor, the 2011 entry expands its playground to an open-world setting as Batman finds himself investigating the eponymous prison. Arkham City has fantastic combat, a memorable main storyline that includes a wide range of Batman's rogues gallery, and a ton of side content that can easily balloon a playthrough's runtime to more than double its normal length. Even though it is not more than a decade old, Arkham City is still visually impressive, which serves as a testament to Rocksteady's art design. Set during World War I, Battlefield 1 features a series of single-player campaigns that focus on different aspects of the war, including battles in the Western Front, the Italian Alps, and the deserts of Arabia. The game also includes a multiplayer mode with maps and modes inspired by historical battles. One of the key features of Battlefield 1 is its emphasis on large-scale battles and immersive gameplay. The game features a variety of vehicles, including tanks, planes, and horses, which players can use to traverse the battlefield and engage in combat. The game also features a dynamic weather system that can change the conditions of the battlefield, adding an element of realism to the gameplay. Set in a fictionalized version of the San Francisco Bay Area, Watch Dogs 2 follows the story of Marcus Holloway, a young hacker who joins the hacktivist group Dead SEC to take down the city's corrupt corporations and government agencies. The game features a variety of hacking abilities that allow players to manipulate the city's infrastructure, vehicles, and electronic devices to achieve their goals. One of the key features of Watch Dogs 2 is its emphasis on player choice and freedom. Players can approach missions and objectives in multiple ways, using stealth, hacking, or direct combat. The game also features a seamless online multiplayer mode that allows players to team up with others to complete missions and activities. Remasters and remakes have certainly gotten a bad rap from gamers. However, some titles prove to be more than just a graphical update of the original and offer an even richer experience, as in the case of Dead Space 2023. The enhanced version of the classic space horror not only sees improvements in the visual department but also in the story and gameplay. You can also extend your playthrough by completing the new side missions. Hogwarts Legacy immerses you in the magical realm created for the Harry Potter franchise. It's a journey back in time to the 1800s, long before the events we have come to know from books and movies. You assume the role of a young student who controls ancient magic. It's so powerful that it's capable of shaking the very foundations of the wizarding world. So, obviously, it attracts all sorts of baddies. As you play, you'll attend classes, master spells, brew potions, and explore a digital rendition of Hogwarts and its surroundings. But hey, it's not all about studying. You'll also get your hands dirty in some spectacular battles. Whether you're a die-hard Potterhead or just want to have fun, this one's got you covered. If you're itching to wield a virtual lightsaber after binge-watching The Mandalorian, then look no further. Taking its cues from Dark Souls and Hollow Knight, Jedi Fallen Order is a giddy blend of Uncharted-esque cinematic adventure and challenging Metroidvania. Yet more crucially for Star Wars stands, the tale it tells is entirely canon, featuring characters from Rogue One and tying neatly into the events of Rebels, the Bad Batch, and the Clone Wars. Fallen Order is a must for anyone who's found themselves falling back in love with a galaxy far, far away. Once you've made your way through Fallen Order, we also recommend continuing your journey in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Set in Siberia, the 2015 game finds Lara Croft exploring the snowy wilderness in search of the mythical city of Kitez. The story takes quite a few unexpected turns, and the side content permits Lara to investigate traditional tombs akin to the pre-Crystal Dynamics era. The gameplay blends exploration, crafting, gunplay, puzzles, and stealth, and Rise of the Tomb Raider handles all these elements well. After a long hiatus and a divisive spin-off, Capcom's Devil May Cry made its glorious and stylish return in 2019. Similar to the fourth game, Nero and Dante are both playable in Devil May Cry 5, and they are joined by a new character called V. All three fighters control very differently, with each one being given mechanics that set them apart from the crowd. Boasting high-octane hack-and-slash combat that is accessible but difficult to master, Devil May Cry 5 is endlessly replayable due to the sheer number of combos possible and extra modes like the Blood Palace. While the campaign can become a touch repetitive due to some fairly bland environments, that criticism is offset by the sheer quality of the gameplay. Newcomers to the series can start with this entry, although they should still seek out all the other games besides Devil May Cry 2 and, perhaps, DMC, Devil May Cry. Set on a tropical island in the Pacific Ocean, Far Cry 3 follows the story of Jason Brody, a young man who finds himself stranded on the island after a skydiving trip goes awry. Jason must rescue his friends from pirates and mercenaries while uncovering the secrets of the island and its mysterious inhabitants. One of the key features of Far Cry 3 is its open-world gameplay, which allows players to explore the island freely and tackle objectives in any way they choose. The game also features a variety of weapons and vehicles for players to use, as well as a crafting system that allows them to create items and equipment from materials found on the island. Valve's Half-Life 2 is generally considered one of the best, if not the best offline PC game of all time. Launching in 2004 and spawning 2 episodes, Half-Life 2 expands everything from its predecessor, turning a claustrophobic shooter into a blockbuster. With Earth succumbing to a multidimensional force called the Combine, Gordon Freeman goes on a cross-country trip as part of humanity's resistance unit. After all this time, Half-Life 2 naturally shows its age. However, the game remains fun and exhilarating to play. While a VR release, 2020's Half-Life: Alyx is also a great offline game. Set in the ancient and cursed city of Yharnam, Bloodborne follows the player's character, known as the Hunter, as they navigate the city's dark streets and uncover its sinister secrets. The game features fast-paced combat, where players must use a variety of weapons and tactics to defeat enemies, including grotesque monsters, twisted creatures, and otherworldly beings. One of the key features of Bloodborne is its challenging gameplay, which rewards skillful play and strategic thinking. Players must carefully manage their health, stamina, and resources while exploring the city and engaging in combat. The game also features a deep and immersive world, filled with lore and backstory that players can uncover through exploration and interaction with non-player characters. Thanks to a gripping story and devastatingly effective art style, this exemplar of survival horror is easily one of the best single-player games of recent years. The game follows the interweaving stories of FBI investigator Saga Anderson and beleaguered writer Alan Wake as they attempt to unravel the dark forces that assail their worlds. The title skillfully combines horror, mystery, and action elements, all framed within a narrative so twisty that it might as well be a corkscrew. What's more, you can switch between protagonists as you wish, playing the story at your own pace and in the order you prefer. If you've not played the original Alan Wake, don't be put off. The title is very accessible for newcomers. As TRG staff writer Ellie Gould said in their review, the game has everything you could want from a blockbuster horror title. Death Stranding is an action-adventure game developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was released in 2019 for PlayStation 4 and later for PC. Set in a post-apocalyptic United States, Death Stranding follows the story of Sam Porter Bridges, played by Norman Reedus, as he journeys across a desolate landscape to reconnect isolated cities and save humanity from extinction. The game features a unique gameplay mechanic where players must navigate treacherous terrain and deliver packages to various locations, all while avoiding supernatural entities known as BTs. Unleash your power in Doom Eternal, one of the fun games to play alone on PC. This action-packed, adrenaline-fueled first-person shooter elevates classic corridor shooter experiences. If you appreciate facing hordes of demons, wielding a broad arsenal of weapons, and a fast-paced heavy metal soundtrack, Doom Eternal is your game. Another oldie by video game standards, Fallout New Vegas may look visually outdated, but that doesn't change the fact that it features incredibly rich world-building and fascinating storylines, with new quests and lore to discover around every corner. To bring it closer to modern video games, we highly recommend you install some of the best Fallout New Vegas mods. Not only can they enhance your experience with weird gameplay changes, such as making every NPC want to kill you, but they can also fix technical issues and provide visual upgrades. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth manages to both be bursting with side content whilst also maintaining a constant focus on its gripping main storyline. This feat alone would grant it consideration for our best single-player games list. However, what Rebirth does that few other RPGs manage is that it leads with its characters, whose well-realized and deep personalities shine from Rebirth's every surface. The second act of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, Rebirth follows the story of Cloud Strife and friends as they attempt to stop Sephiroth and the evil Shinra Corporation from destroying the world. Improving on its processor in every way, Rebirth boasts slick but pausable real-time combat and explorable open-world zones. There's also a mind-boggling number of mini-games, including a deeply compelling collectible card game. If you want a dense, rewarding RPG experience, then Rebirth is the game for you. If you're missing the thrill of exploring the world right now, then Hitman 3 is the perfect antidote. With each Hitman level suddenly throwing an out-of-place 47 into a new country for a brief stint, there's only just enough time for him to get in and hastily get the job done before he's suddenly whisked away to his next business trip, sending players everywhere from a cavernous Berlin club to a strange country manor. This endlessly inventive arcade-like sandbox is a wonderfully varied global murder fest. With more tools for destruction at your disposal than ever before, this endlessly replayable action game lets you be as creative as possible, offering players a litany of hilarious ways to dispatch your marks. Move over Microsoft Flight Simulator, Hitman 3 is the true virtual MVP travel experience. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.